Hey everybody, we're going to talk about negative feedback today. That includes reviews, mean emails, trolls, all that kind of stuff.
All the fun stuff. Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you put yourself out there, that is what you get. So, yeah, it kind of hurts your feelings a little bit sometimes. And sometimes it's just funny.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can
Sometimes it's a good marketing strategy.
what was it? Those we were looking at those Yellowstone National Park ads.
Yeah. There was nobody here. Yeah.
Bryce Canyon was too orange.
Yeah.
Too many trees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a social media post too running around lately that, it's a picture of a sign outside a coffee shop and it says, come, what was it?
Come have the worst coffee. Yeah.
One woman on TripAdvisor ever had in her life.
Yeah.
I have no idea if that works for them or not, but
I don't know. I would think that it would more than you'd think, just because I think partly what it shows is that they don't take themselves too seriously. And so to me, like, I would probably go there. I don't drink coffee, but I would have something else. But just because, they seem like a fun place to go to. Yeah. So, but yeah. And that's one of the things with negative feedback. It can be very hurtful. And I don't think that it's wrong to discount that. That's people say mean things. That is hurtful. I think learning to say, okay, well, that's just one person's opinion, or that's, this group of people's opinion, but that isn't who I am. And I know that that isn't who I am. And I know that that's not, who God called me to be, what he gifted me to do. And to learn to say, okay, well, they don't define me. God defines me. And then that's where I think you can begin to shrug off, more of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
that was critical for me. Once you are solid with God and you're on the right track, God said so. He said so over and over and over again.
Right.
What it took with me, honestly. Yeah.
You hit me with a 2x4 upside the head. So sorry, I'm gonna have to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, everybody else can just take a hike. Yeah. But it was a process for me. I am one of those people that shut my business down because of negative feedback. So there isn't much anybody can say to me anymore. Yeah.
And I think, yeah, and just kind of from I think that just takes emotional strength. And I think to a certain extent, you just have to get used to it. You have to, and I think that it's one of those things where the anticipation of the negative feedback is worse than experiencing the negative feedback. So not that it's fun. So, but it can be amusing if you've kind of gotten to that place where
I attract less negative feedback now doing weirder things than I used to when I was worried about it. Yeah. So
I think there's something that you just, when you are operating completely and totally true to who you are and who God called you to be, what he gifted you to do, then to a certain extent, there's it just repels the people who can't deal with that authenticity. So if you are, it either attracts people or it repels them. So which is kind of what you want. You want it to attract the right people, and you want the wrong people to just go away. Yeah. So, but I think, getting to that place where you're like, this is who I am, you can like it or not. That confidence, that security in who you are, just I don't know if it's that people can sense that weakness and there are people they are just, they've got like radars for that. I don't know what their issue is, but I hope they get healed.
I notice it with religious spirits, because that's what I bump up against the most.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know somebody else that's having that problem and hasn't gotten through it yet, but there's always that little bit of tension when you tell somebody what you do, and you're like, how are they going to react to that?
Yeah.
You're reading that and they're going,
Yeah.
oh, she knows she's not doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get her. She's under conviction. I'm like, no, it's just a little bit of fear of man is all that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then they're going to come and bring the hammer down and be Holy Spirit for you.
Yeah. Or just mean. Either way.
Yeah. Well, same thing in their head. I mean,
true.
They're going to enforce. Yeah. And
yeah. So, and that's, I think, so when you receive negative, and like for people that have like book reviews and stuff, like there's two kind of schools of thought. And I think it depends on you and where you are in that healing process. Reviews and other people's opinions about what you do can be helpful information if you can take it as information and not as a personal attack.
Yeah.
So, and that's, you can read like all of the classics, you can read like all the things, and there's always people that are like, this is the worst thing ever, it does not matter. Like, not everybody is going to like you no matter what you do. So, and if you try and kind of make yourself small, number one, you're going to be frustrated. Like, that is no way to live. But also people will gripe at you for that. So,
well, and that's not what God called you to.
Yeah.
That's never what God called you to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And part of the reason why the enemy stirs people up to attack you is because I am firmly convinced, I don't know that it matters as much what you do, what God's gifted you to do, what he's called you to do. The what doesn't matter. What matters is that you do it, that you are obedient, and that you are doing the thing to the best of your ability at the time. Obviously, we always continue to grow, we improve, it's a process. You don't start out doing something perfectly, but when you are taking those steps and moving forward in that, you are the biggest threat to the enemy ever. Even if it's something that doesn't really seem spiritual or is completely unrelated, I don't know what it is, but I am firmly convinced, just in working with so many people, that they get really hammered, and that's the one area that the enemy attacks them the hardest. So either directly or through other people, or whatever it is. So and I'm not one of those people that, I don't think the enemy attacking you is a badge of honor. He does that to everybody. So, I think that kind of the tension for me there is recognizing that this is a thing, but also not glorifying that, so that you don't invite more of it in. Because I've also seen that where it's like, well, I want to be persecuted because then I know I'm on the right track. I'm like, no. We want to smash those things and get them out of the way.
I'm pretty sure I can be on the right track and not be persecuted. So
yeah. and that is the goal. Obviously, the goal is to be walking in freedom and walking and completely fulfilling what God's called us to do at this point in time. Because I think that can change too over time. So your state of life or whatever. So, but if you can kind of take that feedback as information, then you can also say, okay, one person has said X. That's 1,000 people have not, 1,000 people have completely ignored this. So I'm probably not gonna worry too much about that. If the majority of the people are saying something, they're being critical of some aspect of it, then I would be more likely to see, is there some validity to what they're saying? So, and like for just kind of an easy example would be, if a lot of people are commenting in the comments on Amazon of one of my books that it's difficult to read, then to me, that's more of a problem. That's something that I want to look at and to address, rather than the topic is bogus and you should never talk about generational issues because they don't exist. And, that I'm just not going to, whatever, that's your belief. You can believe what you want. I do not hold to that belief. So, that's
one of those things where you want to check your fruit. Is this bearing good fruit? Okay, then let's keep doing that.
Yeah. And again, I think getting back to we all will learn better ways of doing things, or more efficient ways of doing things, or even maybe more theologically or spiritually sound ways of doing things. But that doesn't negate, as we learn, as we grow, as we develop, but that doesn't negate the fact that you can be doing good things right now. I mean, God works through imperfect people. So, because there are no perfect ones. So this is how he does. So
yeah, I mean, nobody's got it all right. So.
Yeah. Nope. Getting better's the goal.
Yeah.
Wow. But one of the tools that I will use from time to time, because I am not nearly as sensitive as I used to be, but I still have a hard time, and I still struggle with not wanting to just jump in and do something because I don't want people to yell at me. So I'll do a collarbone statement. And it depends on exactly, these are things, the statement itself depends on exactly what it is that I'm struggling with at the time, whatever issue it is. The process is the same. So if this particular statement doesn't hit the nail on the head for you, then craft a statement that does. So typically I'll take, okay, this is what I want to believe, and I'll try and bump it up a notch. So it's a little difficult to say, because the truth is that I mean, God has so many great things for us. He has called us to do so many, and who he thinks we are is just vastly amazing. So it's kind of hard to out good God's opinion of us. So right under your collarbones, there's kind of like a little hollow place, and you can just take 2 or 3 fingers and gently rub. And then you say 3 times. And the statement that I'm going to say this time is, I can do what God has gifted and called me to do. So I can do what God has gifted and called me to do. I can do. Yeah. God. You're repeating after me.
You get the idea, people.
Yeah. So you say that 3 times. And then you want to tap it in. So just right here on the outside of your palm, you just tap it in a couple of times. And that kind of is like telling your system, I want to accept this change. And that just kind of helps to shift. Like one time, doing that one time, probably not going to do you a whole lot of good. If it will do you more good if you're more practiced at this, and the more healed you are. But if this is something that is really raw for you, then I really recommend that at least at minimum, you do it 3 to 5 times a day for a couple of weeks to really kind of help your system. You have to establish a new habit. And that takes time. Takes time. So oftentimes the healing of something can come fairly quickly. Learning how to then walk in that victory is a whole other thing. So sometimes it's quick, but sometimes it can be a long road to go. And sometimes for me, if it's a particular thing, I'll kind of get over that particular aspect of something. And so I'll need to shift the statement to where it kind of attacks another facet of whatever situation that I'm facing. So, but it's incredibly a simple tool. So it seems like it wouldn't be maybe that as powerful as it is, but it's a very powerful tool to use. So,
and tools like that are what Alice uses in her inner healing business. And then for me, the Bravely You flower essence would be the counterpart to that. That was a formula I actually received on my birthday. So
that's Outside, hello.
It's kind of special. But yeah, it's just about being yourself and being brave to be yourself. Yeah.
And I am a very firm believer in essences as well. So that's something that I will also take various ones depending on what I need at the time.
Yeah, but it's the same deal, it's the training wheels while you reset and relearn how to be the new.
Yeah.
And really incorporate that into life, embody it.
Yeah, and eventually you won't need either one. So for that particular issue, there may be other issues. So yeah, there's always something. But that's learning to walk in victory. So, and learning to walk in courage. So so I hope that you found that helpful today and that you can face whatever negative feedback that comes with courage, and that you won't get as much of it as perhaps you thought you might.
Yeah.
So talk to y'all later.